Hello, everybody. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of February 21st through the 28th of 2022. That's a lot of 20s in there. Anyways, it was fun to say. And I'm going to try and keep this video as lighthearted as possible because we have a lot of watery energy next week and earth energy still, with Venus and Mars still canoodling in the sign of Earth Capricorn. However, we now have the Sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and we kick off the week with the Moon in Scorpio. So there is a lot of water going on. What can that signify? Well, it means that a lot of emotions are going to be like the ocean waves, the crashing, the coming in and going out of the tide, the surfing of the waves. Those of you who love the water as much as I do, this should be, where we get to build more skills when it comes to surfing, if you will. However, I will say that if you are extremely empathic, this week is a taster of more ahead and a chance to practice how to use that empathetic muscle without getting overwhelmed. Because the other thing we know about water is that it can feel sometimes like a tsunami coming or a hurricane. Yeah. And when that happens, how do we stay stabilized? How do we be the eye of the storm? What do we do when we feel so out of control or overwhelmed with the emotions that could show up? Now, the other thing with water, at least from a metaphysical standpoint, is that water also signifies spirituality. It can signify inspiration and the energy that supports flow of ideas, flow of the emotions, flow of, when we're in the flow of manifestation. It's very complementary. And so we can stabilize and use this emotional energy by a couple of things. Number one, Mercury is in Aquarius again. And remember, it was retrograding through the sign of Aquarius at the beginning of January until it retrograded back into Capricorn towards the end of January. So we've had a little taster of it, but Mercury is retrograde. So it caused us to probably feel a little foggier or a little bit more internalized than we normally would. Now Mercury is direct. It is back in the sign of Aquarius, and it can help us when we're looking at our emotions and all this watery energy. It can help us be more objective. It can allow us to look at the feelings of things. And remember, emotions are meant to be emoted. It's energy in motion. What tools and practices do we have in order to move the emotions in a healthy way? And so with Mercury in Aquarius, we may find unusual ways in which to navigate whatever shows up that creates an emotional trigger for us, because it could be positive emotions where, if you're in love, you get all this elation because remember, the cosmic lovers of Venus and Mars are canoodling and giving us a more serious, mature approach to our relationships and especially romance. Because remember that Venus is about the energy of love, whereas Mars is the energy of passion. You put these two together, boom, bada bing, it's fantastic, right? Well, if we get carried too far away in it, it becomes euphoric. And using all the Pisces energy with the Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, we might go into escapism. We may have things that we need to put into place, we need to stay focused on, and yet we could feel scattered if we're not careful. There's this concept out there of multitasking, which those of you who are tuned in realize multitasking is not efficient. There really is no such thing because you can't fully focus on five things at once. You only focus on one thing at a time. And you've heard me say where attention goes, energy flows. That's what this invitation is that we need to stay laser focused on accomplishing some of the things that we need to accomplish. And if they line up with our values, I'm pointing to the Venus and Mars energy here in Capricorn, then we can manifest long-term results. But if we get carried away in all the euphoric emotions, or if it becomes too emotional where we go into the depths of despair, we may get nothing done. And then we beat ourselves up even more because we didn't accomplish the things we wanted to accomplish. Do you see where I'm going? These are the things we need to pay attention to this week. And so it's not about removing or getting rid of anything. It's about integrating it and gathering all that energy into a centered place and meeting each moment one breath at a time. The positive pieces here for this week and all this energy is that it can bring on this dreamy like quality. And in that dream state, some of you have heard me say this, a tool in the shaman's toolkit is imagination. We can use it as a way to find information or to find stability when we're feeling overwhelmed or when we're needing answers, when we go into that meditative state or that daydream state or that imagination state. Because oftentimes when we're problem solving, if we just focus on the problem, we're not going to be able to focus on the solution. So that's where the imagination comes in. And I'll offer a personal antidote here, and that is there's been a couple of days throughout the last few weeks that I have felt completely overwhelmed. My own doing. I'm in control of my own calendar and schedule and things like that, but it's energy too. And I have felt overwhelmed in some cases. And I would only have 5 minutes between different things that I needed to take on. And that's not a lot of time to breathe, much less to use the bathroom and eat, you know? And I would find myself getting really consternated, very constricted feeling in my body. And to a place where I was like, I'm just going to say F it all and do something else, or I just want to go skiing or hiking or whatever. But I had duty and responsibilities that needed to take shape. And so what I did is I came back to the practices that I talk about, that I use, and I just took out 2 minutes to ground, to breathe, to meditate. Because remember, meditation, and this is all that Piscean energy that we're in right now, meditation isn't meant to keep us on our cushion. We practice something like meditation or centeredness so that we can feel very grounded and meditative while we are in any situation, while we are experiencing life itself. The other positive pieces to this week is that it will give us practice to come back to our practices, having a spiritual mindset. We'll be seeking spiritual meaning in things. We're wanting to find ways to bring heaven onto earth. This is a beautiful supportive time with a sextile happening between Pisces and Capricorn energy. Like I mentioned, the Sun, Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces, Venus, Mars, and Capricorn. It's a beautiful time to be able to manifest those dreams into a reality. So if there's something that you have control over, because remember, you can't control what somebody else does. You can't make somebody fall in love. You can't make somebody want to do something. But the things that bring you joy, the things that allow you to say, I have this creative, inspirational idea that I actually want to put into a tangible form. This is a great week to really get that going. It's also a time where we start looking outside of ourselves and say, how can I be of great service to the collective? And with Mercury and Aquarius, we may come up with decisions that we make that benefit the collective. So we're thinking a lot more about others than we are ourselves, and we benefit because it gets reciprocated right back to us. And what you'll also find this week is that if you have been feeling like you're sort of floating on your own little island or your raft, that others will want to come forward, and you'll find that it could have some radical conversations or ideas that allow you to collaborate with people who are just as compassionate or just empathetic as you. Because I will say compassion and empathy are the king and queen of this week. So if for some reason you have been, you felt like you were tossed against the crags, so to speak, have compassion for yourself. Treat yourself the same way you would others. Have empathy for yourself. You're doing the best you can with what you're given. We all are. And if you're not, you make adjustments and you ask people to come in and lean in on you. We're going to be looking at some of the things we might be wrestling with this week. Am I doing what I really love? And if I'm not, why am I still doing it? We just had a full moon in Leo, all about that heart center. Does this line up with my heart? Does it energize my heart? Am I doing this out of the generosity of my heart? Generosity is rewarded this week. And I'm not talking about being an overgiver, but I'm saying come from that giving place of it brings great joy to me. And then, of course, this is a practice for those overgivers. Be open to receive when others offer the same amount of generous love, compassion, gifts to you that you would to them. Don't take away from the giver the same joy that you would have. Yeah. We are going to be more determined than ever to build long lasting relationships. How can we do that? We collaborate, we share ideas, we build trust, we allow the security of constant communication, the security of, hey, I'm being transparent with my motivations, with my ideas. I see a lot of us as a collective releasing more ideas out into the world where it brings us a feel good kind of energy. Romantic love manifested in human form. I'm going to speak to all of us who love love or want to be in love or looking for love, or we're in a bonded relationship that maybe has had some tension, or maybe it's just been blah. This is a great week for it to re-energize, for you to put yourself out there to meet this wonderful human and to actually manifest the relationship. And the way in which you know it's right for you is right up front. You talk about what's most valuable to you. What is it that brings you great joy? I see a lot of laughter this week. And I will also say that if you do something, if you invest, whatever you invest in, is it a good investment over the long haul? Those are some of the things you'll be looking at. If you're looking at literally investing your money into something, you want to look at it from a very practical standpoint. And this is where gathering information and knowing who you can trust for that information is going to be important. And then go for it. You know, I see a lot of people getting in more into the crypto world this week. I also feel as though you may be investing in some unusual ideas or unusual companies that continue to elevate and innovate us as a collective or a whole. If you're looking at investing in something like wind turbines or the green movement, that's always a good investment. It's a little bit different, but technology, I know there's a whole space program going on right now. I see a lot more people getting involved in that. Sciences, because we're in this Aquarius energy. And think about this too. We may be taking a very serious approach to our love and our romance and our values or our finances, but we can also not just take a serious approach, but we can also look at it from a fun, lighthearted way when we do things a little differently, when we mix it up, when you may be attracted to someone or a group or something that's different or unusual, but you don't care anymore. You know, we let go of that idea of image and we allow ourselves to just be the best versions of ourselves by saying, this is what I do in my own way, and I'm okay with that. If you're looking for a new job or you're looking for a source of income, look at it from the most weird kind of way, you know, because that gives you an opportunity to do something that will energize you because it's different. We're looking for different right now. All right, you guys, I really hope that this helps. You know, you can like, subscribe, share, comment, and find me at jamiedawn.com. Don't be afraid when the emotions are coming on. Use it as a tool to send you back to your practices and to work with that. How can I create heaven on earth with all this energy? Harness it, bring it all into one centered place and go, focus. This is how I manifest it in a real and tangible way. And that brings out more sense of accomplishment and success and good feelings for us. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.